we've been waiting so long for a continuation, it's felt like, of Gears of War. I mean, this is one of Xbox's most iconic franchises, period. When you think of like the top two iconic franchises Xbox holds, it's Halo and Gears of War. Now, you could argue like Fable, Perfect Dark. There's a couple others that you could argue. But Gears and Halo have been staples to Xbox. And you know, they've always sold really well for Xbox. They've done really well from a, fan base perspective. Now, obviously, the Xbox studios need to get better about bringing people back to the experience over and over again, consistently updating, making it fresh. When you release your game, don't leave and take vacation right after you release the game. No. Once you release the game, it's all hands on deck. Pedal to the metal. Let's make this thing the greatest thing on the planet. Obviously, we got some issues with Halo Infinite right now. But let's talk about Gears of War eday. Gears of War eday, guys, is one of my most anticipated games of the future. And I want to talk about this title because there is so much to be excited about as a Gears of War fan, because eday's kind of going, taking a step back in time, and we're about to get back into the trenches with Marcus and Dom. And I'm so excited, man, to see kind of like this origin story kind of unfold for us. And I think it could be something absolutely special. So let's get into it. In an article coming to us from Echo Apsey of NME, one of the biggest announcements from 2024's Xbox Game Showcase was Gears of War eday. The next mainline entry in the series is shaking things up by returning to the core of the franchise and offering up an entirely new setting for the series. Let's talk about the story. Well, Gears of War eday takes us back to the beginning. Here, both Marcus and Dom are seasoned veterans of the Pendulum Wars, the ongoing conflict that took place before the start of the series. Knowing Dom through his older brother Carlos, he and Marcus are in the early stages of their friendship following the death of Carlos. The game tells the origin story of their bond, which came to define the series. However, this is a step back, which means neither of them have their years of experience fighting the Locust, so this game's threat will be fresh and new for them. On the topic of their relationship, the Coalition described this story as a really modern take on both of them. You have this intimate story set amid this wider backdrop of what's happening on this apocalyptic day. I think for fans, it'll be really compelling to dig deep and explore their bond and how it changes over time. Guys, a lot of people asked me the question, what do I think about them going back into the past and not really going into the future again with like Kate Diaz, JD, and all these different, newer characters. And to me, I think that the Coalition, I believe from Ultimate Edition to Gears of War 4, Gears 5, I think that they're kind of setting the stage. But really what they have needed is they need their own game that feels like 100% them. I feel like the Coalition, not that they didn't want to do Ultimate Edition or Gears of War 4 or Gears 5. What I mean is that I think that this game is what they wanted to do right now. And Xbox allowing them to do it, I think that you're going to see a labor of love come in with this game. And I'm okay with them going to the past because eday, is like one of those moments in the Gears of War universe that I've always want to see, them pursue. I think that was really, really important, obviously from a world building perspective. So from a campaign perspective, eday, I'm all in. Completely all in. One of the questions a lot of people ask is Gears of War eday a reboot? Well, Gears of War eday is not a reboot. Instead, it is transporting us back to the origin of Marcus and Dom's friendship and not erasing the events that took place between the first and fifth games. In fact, later on in that same post on the Xbox Wire, the Coalition said that the team is content with the stories told in Gears of War 4 and Gears 5 and is by no means abandoning them, but the collective passion for such an iconic origin story was simply too great to ignore. The game is also not a spin-off, instead acting as the new mainline entry simply set earlier in the timeline than Gears 5. And like I said, guys, I'm totally cool with this. I think that this is the right time to make Gears of War eday. You know, I talked a lot on the YouTube channel about Gears of War 6 or Gear 6. And I love that, by the way, they're bringing the name back, Gears of War, instead of Gears. It's like, yo, it was always Gears of War. It was never just Gears. Gears was the nickname, yo. Like Gears of War eday. Let's go, baby. I'm excited that they're bringing Gears of War back. And eday? Emergence Day? Let's go. Like, I'm totally down for this. And like I said, I think that this is like a hard reset for the franchise, because Gears of War 4 I loved. I really liked Gears 5 as well, but it was a step back, you know, from Gears of War 4 in my opinion. And obviously Gears of War 3 is the greatest Gears, one of the greatest games ever created in my personal opinion. And so I think eday is kind of going back to the roots of what made Gears so special, from Gears 1 to Gears of War 3. And so I'm really excited to see, this is kind of like the Coalition's take of bringing us back to Gears of War 1 to Gears of War 3. So down for this. Let's talk about the gameplay, guys. Well, Gears of War eday still seems to be a little while away, even though it has been 5 years since the last entry. No date was given in the trailer, and a good prediction is that we will see gameplay at next year's Xbox Game Showcase in June. So that's pretty exciting. I think that there's a pretty good possibility that we're gonna see some gameplay next year. If not next year, it'll be 2026 with, I believe, a release date in 2027. So if we get the Xbox Game Showcase next year and we have obviously the gameplay shown, I think that the gameplay will also show the release date. And then that release date will probably be 2026. But if we get the gameplay in 2026, I think that we'll get the release date in 2027. They want to make sure that they've got a year or so of time to really ramp up marketing, build the hype, get people excited. So I think that's probably more reasonable to expect. But I would love nothing more, guys, than to see a gameplay trailer next year and we get the release in 2026. So Gears of War eday doesn't have a release date or window for Xbox Series X or S and PC, but given that we only saw a brief trailer, it seems likely that the game will release in later 2025 or sometime in 2026, although that is speculation on our part. We will likely get a firm release window at next year's Xbox Game Showcase, but could see more before then. So look, I don't believe that we're going to see the gameplay trailer in 2025 and the release date is in 2025. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think Microsoft, as well as, Xbox, as well as the Coalition, they're going to want to release a really awesome gameplay trailer and then release the game the following year. That's at least in my opinion. I think, you probably could see, that gameplay trailer with the release date in 2025, 2026, like say Xbox Game Showcase at 26, we get like a really cool multiplayer trailer with, a campaign trailer and all those things that come out with reminding people that the game's coming out fall of 2026. So I think that's more reasonable to expect. And in terms of the multiplayer, guys, I think with the tone we're seeing, at least right now, very early on, of Gears of War eday, it could be one of the best multiplayer experiences because you're going back to the roots of what made Gears so special. And so I'm so excited, and I will be sure to share more information as it comes out for Gears of War eday. What do you guys think about this? The question is for you. What do you think about Gears of War eday? Are you guys as excited as I am for this game? Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Let's have a conversation about it. And for more Gears of War eday content and videos, keep it right here.